Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Hard Rock and Country Show. Did I say it right this time?
No.
The Hard Rock and
You
Country
did
Show.
not say it right.
I didn't say it right? So the Country and Hard Rock Show.
No. You said, good morning, son. It is black as the ace of spades out there.
Okay, well, okay. Maybe
It's 10:30 at night.
Maybe
It's
this
not the
is
morning.
early morning. You like getting up early morning.
You don't.
Well, you know, I was up all night last night. I was really, really struggling. Had a lot on my mind. I was worrying.
You got a mind?
Yep. I
Okay.
watched the sunset, and I was worrying.
Bible says not to worry.
I was worrying. I was really worrying. Where did the sun go? And I was up all night. Then it dawned on me. So,
That's lame.
Oh, that's funny though. Hey, so I got in trouble. I got in trouble tonight. My wife came home, and the dog was so excited to see her. Puked 2 times right there on the floor, right in front of her. So excited. Gets pretty excited.
So why in the world would the dog throw up?
You know, when you have
Squirrel.
such a
Squirrel.
I don't even know how to describe my dog, but
I don't know what that was that just happened.
I don't know what that was that just happened either.
Folks, we're at our world headquarters and it's late, and we just had like a drive-by.
Nobody got shot. There's a lot of those shootings that happen nowadays. You know that?
Yeah.
If I parked my truck out there, they could have hit it though. I could have gotten like a new truck.
Would it even make it here? I mean, you'd have to
My
pull
truck.
around the corner.
Hey, I got the tailgate heaters installed. I am in good shape.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
No, you were telling us that last little episode we did
Uh-huh.
that there was more to the maternity ward.
Oh, yeah.
Or Lamont.
Did you take Lamont's class when you had kids?
I did.
Did you
Me
really?
and Erica went and took it to have Isaiah.
Really?
Yep.
Did you learn a lot?
Not really.
Okay. Well,
Isaiah is my 3rd child.
okay.
So, as any good man would go, I would say, you're doing a good job. Keep it up. And while your hand is getting crushed in the death grip. And you're worrying subconsciously, will this hand ever be able to be used again for work? And of course, the doctor's like, push! What am I supposed to do? I can't push for her. I mean, really. And she gives you that evil eye.
Really?
Oh,
Your
our
wife
doctor,
might be watching this.
Our midwife, whatever you want to call her, she was horrible.
Oh, man.
Horrible. So she's giving me the evil eye. I'm like, well, I can't do any pushing here. I mean, what the heck? I guess it's my fault.
Well, I really don't have much to say because I gave birth 3 times.
You gave birth.
Yeah, I was just as much part of it as her. It was awful. It was absolutely awful.
Okay, I'm going to say that St. Heidi might disagree with you.
Well, no, she'll agree with me. It was awful me being there in the room.
Did you throw up?
No. Darn near passed out, but no, I didn't throw up. So, we're pregnant with our first one, our oldest, obviously, because
You're kidding me!
Yeah, our first
Boy,
one.
your
is
math
our
goes
oldest.
right to the top floor.
Yes.
That elevator was broke last
Yep.
week.
Now, I can't always tell you how old my oldest is, but I can tell you that she's
10.
my oldest. Okay, I'm glad you're on top of that.
Because my youngest is 11.
Okay, all right.
How old is my oldest?
All I know is we already did the math and figured this out that you could be my dad. So
Yep.
we did figure this out.
Yeah.
So you're
Keep going.
That would make my kids your grandchildren.
Oh, no,
Does that give you gray hair at all?
My kids have done enough gray hair. I don't need any extra help.
All right, so we're
Where's this story going?
We're
Do we
pregnant
squirrel?
with our oldest.
The poor squirrel
No,
is like
no.
wrecked. He's crashed. He's
Theodore's
fallen
here.
over.
Theodore's here. So we're pregnant with our oldest,
Okay.
And my mom calls up. My mom's just a sweetheart. And
She makes good jelly.
She does. She was very concerned.
Get the onion jelly and put it in your cheeseburgers.
Yes. Or the granola and eat it with M&Ms late at night.
Well, we were off track here, bud.
Anyway, so my mom calls because
Is
she's
that like
very
when a track
concerned.
gets thrown on a bulldozer?
Yes.
That's horrible.
Yes.
Horrible.
I got a story
Last
about that
time we
too.
lost the track on the excavator, it was 8 hours.
I got a story about losing the track on a bulldozer. But anyways.
Wait a minute, we're talking about Lamont's class, right?
My mom calls me.
Where are we at?
And she's very concerned about this.
But are you in the labor room?
No, we're like 3 months pregnant. And my mom was really concerned.
You're just into the pregnancy. Was she throwing up?
No, she was throwing other things, not up.
Probably mad at you for doing that to her.
Listen,
you got the poor
mad.
girl pregnant.
She got mad and it lasted 3 years. Anyway, so.
Because you kept her pregnant for 3 years.
Yep, pretty much, 32 months. So my mom was very concerned, very concerned.
That you were having a child?
Her youngest son was having a child who would be her grandchild. And she was very concerned, and she said, now, are you and Heidi taking Lamaze classes? And I was very straightforward with my mother because, my mom and I have a very straightforward relationship.
I can't imagine.
And I said, Mom, I pulled calves all the time growing up on the farm. All you need is 2 pieces of stick wood and some bale twine and some place to tie them around, and you give some yanks and they come right out. I am honest to goodness, you asked my mom, and that's exactly what I told her. And
was Heidi close to this conversation?
No. We didn't have the open relationship that we do now. And I didn't say things like that when she was pregnant because
you'd have died.
She was
you would have died.
Death
would have been involved.
Yes, pretty much.
Okay.
And so I told my mom that.
You told your mom?
Yeah.
That you're going to pull it out like a calf?
Yeah.
Okay. Did she come through
I
the
told
phone?
her that I'd experienced.
Did she reach her motherly voice through the phone and choke you?
She raised her voice a couple decibels.
I could see that. I think she could be a very stern woman.
She sometimes can be.
Okay.
And
raising you, she probably got lots of teachings on being stern.
I like to view my childhood as I was a perfect little angel boy. And
are you practicing to be Pinocchio?
Well,
I can't make this crap up, folks.
So that didn't go over so well. But no, we did not take Lamont's class.
Why?
We just didn't. I grew up on the farm. I watch birth happen all the time. It's a very natural process. The man never helps out. And so
Son, hey, this ain't the same thing.
The first birth,
there ain't 4 legs to grab a hold of one.
So no, there isn't. But the first birth, there was Dukes Hazzard on TV in the room. And it was great watching it. Second birth, my wife thought the first birth she would be, and she is my wife is my rock. 17 hours of natural labor.
Hard as a rock.
Yes.
A rock right there. Heidi, text me real quick and I'll hit him with it.
So the second birth, she decided to get one of them epidurals. And I've always tried to treat my wife very fairly. You know what, honey? I have no idea what an epidural is, but if you're so gung-ho about it, that sounds fine. I'm all for supporting you in it. And she said, okay, you're going to be in there holding my hand. I said, okay, I have no idea what an epidural is because I grew up on a farm. I didn't know what an epidural is. So I go in there and they start sticking her with a needle that's about the size of my pinky. And I hadn't had coffee or food yet that morning. I turned white as a sheet because they were sticking her all over. There was blood all over her back. It was awful. They had to bring an aide in to take care of me, and they had to bring a chair in, bring a juice box in, and they had to bring an aide in just to take care of me.
Are you in first grade?
And they had
Mr. Farmer Boy,
two other taking her hair. we didn't give the cows epidurals. We just wrapped that balance twine around that little hoofy thing and gave a yank on that sticky thing, and that calf come popping right out. Oh boy, that epidural was a bad deal for me. And
you weren't the one getting it.
Oh man, I felt every part of that. And so the next time, on my youngest child, she let me leave the room for the epidural, but she made me come back for the
Did you hold her
rest
hand?
of it. Yeah, darn near lost my hand. And then the doctor has this idea that, would you like to cut the umbilical cord? No, sirree, Bob, no. That is attached to my lovely wife, and that's attached to my baby. I don't know how you're going to separate that, but I don't want any part. Oh, man.
So when we had Isaiah, there's 18 years between my two daughters.
Okay.
And my oldest daughter was in the room.
If you were Amish, you would have had about 17 kids in that time period.
No. I'm not Amish. I'm far from it. Real far. I like air conditioning too much. So, we were getting close to Isaiah's about to get delivered. Finally. Because Erica had about a full 26 hours of labor.
You were looking for the balance twine and the sticks.
No. And I had an epiphany.
I get in trouble when I have those.
I had an epiphany.
Okay, you had an epiphany.
And I looked over at my little girl, because, for 18 years, she was my little girl.
Yep.
All 6'1" of her.
Yep.
And I said, I cut the cord when you were born. And this is your little sister. Would you like to cut the cord? Oh, and she just cried and cried and cried. So we let her cut the cord. She was real excited about it. I thought, why not?
That.
And she's 29 now, and she's scared to have kids still.
Maybe you had a reason for that. Oh man. So I don't know if you probably didn't hear because you weren't in there, but your dog has a liking for me. Every time I come in, it pees on the floor.
Thanks.
But it comes over to me and I pet it and everything, and I'm not a real big dog
I'll
person.
teach her to jump up on your lap next time.
She did jump up in my lap, and I gave her a little kiss, and she gave me a little kiss and everything.
No, I meant to get excited. Pete.
Oh, to get excited, Pete. Oh, well, that happens.
Be easy to clean up that way.
Well, it is easy.
Thank God we got tile floors.
She did it on the carpet though.
What?
But your daughter cleaned it up.
Uh-huh.
So, with last episode, we were talking about this one cool idea, and I have a lot of really cool ideas, and sometimes.
How vast is your knowledge of ideas?
Oh man.
Is it like to beyond an epiphany of an eternity?
Oh yes, I can come up with some really good ones, and most of them are really good. So the one idea I had was, and I mentioned it last time about filming.
Are they pondering thoughts? Or are they I'm just bored thoughts?
When I was a kid.
So you can't even answer.
When I was a kid, my mama.
You were a kid. You're still a kid.
I didn't say when I was small. I said when I was a kid.
Uh-huh.
My mama said, if it's not important, if it goes through your mind and it's not important, it doesn't need to come out your mouth. Well, most of the things that go through my mind, I feel are important.
Really?
And that's why they come
just
out my
because
mouth.
you
Yes.
thought about it?
No, I just value the thought. So my thought on this was we need to record an episode while driving down the road.
No.
Because there's always so many cool things that can happen.
No.
And this one story I remember was
I tell you what. I'll do an episode in the woods.
You do an episode in the woods.
We're not blowing no crap up.
That was your idea.
We're not hunting nothing.
Can we tip over an outhouse?
No.
While you're in it?
Are you forgetting? I own a 43-ton excavator. I can dig a hole probably to the center of the earth. You better not tip no outhouse over on me.
All right, so
You might get lost in a hole.
this one story I remember.
You've got
growing
lots
up,
of stories.
and,
You guys, this guy, I don't know how he comes up with it. He's like, it's like a vast outer space of Shelbyville.
Now, there was an asking, and somebody did
In
bring
Shelbyville?
something up that I make up these stories, and I want to be completely honest. My wife, after a couple episodes back when Hard Rock was giving her a hard time that these stories can't be true, she was like, "Oh, they are honest to goodness true."
She's confirmed
Yes.
that they are,
So,
unfortunately, reality.
yes. So this story dates back many, many years. And
Now, wait a minute. Whoa. It can't be many, many, many years. You're not old.
Oh, this dates back before I ever met my wonderful, wonderful bride,
Okay.
and I was in college.
Before you tricked her into marrying you.
Yes.
Okay.
No, I didn't trick her into it.
You said yes. You all heard it.
And so I got this great deal, and I've always no, not on the sale. I've always found these good deals, different places.
Like
And,
the vomit on the carpet to get the van.
The
cheaper.
van, hey, it was a good deal. They gave you a good deal, and there's vomit all over the back seats, and they were giving you a good discount.
So you know what you do?
What?
I seen this on YouTube.
What? Not everything you see on YouTube is a good idea.
Well,
43 people have died because of a TikTok challenge. I'm
yeah,
telling
I'm
you.
not talking about TikTok.
You need to be
I
careful.
like Tic Tac.
Tic Tacs?
I like Tic Tacs.
Yeah,
Orange ones.
I choked on one of them.
You choke on your own spit.
Sometimes.
Hey, what were we talking about?
We were talking about this story. I was back in college, and I got a good deal on. They were tearing a building.
Wait a minute,
down.
I forgot the fart spray. We gotta come back to the fart spray.
The fart spray.
Just keep going.
Boy,
It's good.
epiphanies really bring out the
Fart
best in
spray.
you. Okay. All right. So I got this good deal. They're tearing down this building, and I went with one of my best friends in college, and we tore a bunch of wood trim out of it, and I still have a bunch of that trim. And we tore it out and put it on this 14-foot trailer, and I was towing it with my pickup truck. Now,
Is this the Nissan J200?
No. You've seen the stuff I drive.
It
That's
scares me.
nothing compared to the stuff that I used to drive. So I had this pickup truck. It was a Toyota pickup truck,
Uh-huh.
and it had been rolled. Cab was about 2 inches shorter, so they slapped some doors on from a junkyard. They stuck up taller than the cab because they were not rolled. So they stuck up like wings as you're going down the road. But of course the latches were a little off, and so whenever you rode in it, you had to hold your hands on the door, you chicken, and hold those doors in. And I remember when I was driving by myself, I'd have to hold one door and hold the other door when you're going around corners, because sometimes it would swing the door over. And I'll tell you what, when I did that with a date one time, and her flowing dress flew in the breeze out that door. She dumped my sorry butt.
I bet
So,
she did.
anyways,
Smart girl.
So anyways, this truck, the seats weren't bolted down either. They just kind of flopped in there. But the seat belts were bolted down. So as long as you belted your seat belt, you were belted to the truck.
Disclaimer alert, do not take advice from this creature. Okay. We're not liable, responsible in any way from Shelbyville, aka country, and his stunts, reactions of reality
They are
of
not
life.
stunts or things you do intentionally to see if you can do it. This is just real life.
I know.
And this is there's a lot of terms in the older days of how you live, but this
How do you
is
know
just
what the terms were of the older days? You're young.
well, yeah, I know, but some of the terms were politically incorrupt today. Incorrupt. I like that term too. But
Can you
duct
finish your
tape.
story?
Duct tape holds a lot of this stuff together in JB Weld. So, anyway, I had this pickup truck and I'm towing this trailer. None of my interior lights worked. None of the trailer lights worked. And it's 10 o'clock at night and it's pouring down rain.
Folks, do not do this at home.
And we're driving, and it's really kind of ironic because the road we're on is a curve into this road, and it's called Dead Man's Curve because people have died on that curve. So we're driving along, and it's standard. Don't let me forget it's standard. And my phone rings, and this is back in the days of the flip phones. You remember them? You flip it open. It's called a flip phone because you flipped it open and you talk. And we're driving along down this hill, pouring down rain, and my phone rings. And this dates back to, this is one of the first times, and to this day, people still give me this dirty look and ask this stupid question. You're not going to answer that, are you? Well, that's a dumb question. So I flip the phone open, switch it over to my left hand so I can still shift and drive with my knees and talk. And it's my mom. And she said, hello, I just want to let you know it's raining outside. And you know, I love my mom. And I love parents. It's not my mom. It's all parents. They tell you when you leave, drive safe.
Yep.
Have you ever told them
Can't
back?
keep common sense, folks.
Have you ever told them back? No, Mom, I'm going to drive fast and take chances. Don't do that, I suggest. But anyway, so she says, hey, it's raining outside. I just want to call and let you know. My buddy is already freaking out in the passenger seat. He already knows it's raining outside. She says, don't drive into piles of leaves because it might be slick. And I remember the leaves part because at that moment, my windshield wiper breaks off. But the windshield wiper breaks off. The whole arm breaks off. And it catches on the most important part of my truck. I had chrome mirrors. I went to a junkyard and I saw another Toyota vehicle. They didn't really fit. I kind of had to modify them to get to fit on my truck. But they were chrome mirrors. And that windshield wiper flipped off, broke off the arm, and caught on my chrome mirrors. As I'm driving down the hill, pulling the trailer, and pouring down rain, talking on the phone, shifting, and quickly I had to shift my phone over to one hand, crank my window down so I could grab the windshield wiper, reach my arm out the window, and swish it as I'm talking and driving with the steering wheel. And I said,
Do
don't
not
worry.
attempt this at home. Anyway,
And I said, don't worry, Mom, we'll be safe. And I hung up. And we got all the way home, swishing it outside the window like that. And I'll tell you, I probably drove it for 2 months like that. And you know, my girlfriends, when we'd be driving in the rain, they'd be holding the door shut. And I'd be reaching out and swishing the windshield because prior to this, the passenger side windshield wiper had broken off too. But that was all they had left to be able to see.
can't make this crap up.
No, those are true, honest, goodness stories. Yeah.
So,
all right. So you got the fart spray.
no.
And you think my
A
story?
YouTuber.
YouTuber. Mm-hmm.
So,
He had fart spray.
they had a bet who could get the best deal on a car. And they are all three going to go look at the same car.
Okay.
And the one guy asked to go last. So Joe and Johnny went and looked at the car and they got 2 different prices. And old fart spray boy, he goes and looks at the car and he got in there and he hosed her down with fart spray.
No.
And then goes into the dealership and says, what do you want for that car out there? It smells like somebody died in it. Is there a dead body in the trunk? And they're all looking at each other like, what? So they go out. Of course, he shut the doors and left the windows up. And they go out and look at the car and they open it up and the guy starts gagging. He won the bet. Let's just put it that way. I was rolling. I'm like, that is horrible.
That is
He
horrible.
filled it full of fart spray and then had the little salesman ran out there and jumped in the car. Thought he was being, fictitious. He was, but it was and they didn't buy the car either, by the way. It was all just a
You and I could go and do something like that. That'd make a good video.
I couldn't do that to somebody.
So you've ridden with me before.
Yeah.
So you know some dealerships
You
make
know
the
what,
salesman.
folks? You pray a lot.
You know,
and you learn how strong you can grip something and how hard you can push your feet on the floorboard.
so we some dealerships make the salesman ride with you.
Yeah.
In case you don't steal the car.
Yeah.
And we went to this one dealership. I was test driving a WRX when they first came out. You know what those are?
No idea what that is.
Okay, that's a Subaru turbocharged rally car, but they make them street legal. They're really cool. I was big into them when I was into the sports car world. Subaru WRX,
That must be
all-wheel
a
drive,
New York thing.
turbo.
Had to be
car.
in New York, not in Missouri.
You know that salesman was so scared. He told me to take it back to the dealership. He was hanging on for dear life.
I bet. I can only imagine.
Well, you know, my wife has gotten pretty accustomed to my driving now. She doesn't mind it too bad. She doesn't crawl
Your wife
down.
has got cussing at your driving or custom?
That used to be the way. No, she doesn't crawl down under the dash anymore. Too much. Once in a while. So
next time we got to ride with you, I'll let Erica sit beside you.
Oh boy, she scares me.
Because she'll just go like that.
She scares me.
She'll knock you out.
Your wife scares me. My wife's starting to scare me. So,
Well, that's because they hang out together all the time.
they do. It's kind of scary. Do you
Did
think
they
they talk
get
about?
anything done today?
Do you think that they talk about how wonderful their husbands are?
I doubt it.
Oh,
I walked in last week and they were talking about my life insurance.
I'd be a little concerned, and I'm a little concerned sitting next to you here. I mean, did they rig something under here to blow? Did they? You know what? They probably unscrewed the screws holding your jackhammer up. That's gonna fall on you. But there was a story. So I used to do tree service.
What haven't you done?
I drove limos. I always wanted to work for a coroner and a mortuary. I thought that'd be.
I've cut hair there
interesting.
before.
You cut hair there?
Yeah. You know what they do?
What? They actually dress the bodies up to look better than they did when they died. I do know that.
I got freaked out one day.
Okay.
They said, Mr. Woodard, come on in. So I go on in there and I knew I cut this guy's hair for many, many, many years. And they said he's not quite ready for you to cut his hair yet.
Not quite dead?
Ready. And he gotten really thin. Well, and then when you're doing a flat top, you know, divots don't turn out so great.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm really struggling with this flat top. And the
What do
corner's
you
like,
do? Do you prop them up in a barber chair?
no,
Oh.
you gotta cut them laying down. It's a long day.
Yeah, I'm sure.
So he's like, "Whoa, I'm sorry."
The dead guy?
No, the
Oh.
mortician.
Okay.
He gets this big needle out, this stuff in it, and he goes, he just filled out that spot. I was like, ah! So he's going around the head. Is that spot too low? That spot too low? I'd never seen nothing like that before. He's like, yeah, sometimes they get a little thin like that. We got to fill in their divots.
I don't think you and I need to worry about having any
Yeah,
divots
I've
filled
got
in.
plenty filler there. But yeah, that was really I don't even know what to say to that.
That's kind of scary.
Yeah.
That kind of freaked me out a little bit.
I'd tell you what I did have happen one day though. So I'm cutting this deceased person's hair,
Okay.
and you know they're hard. They don't move.
Yeah.
And I was trying to pull up on his shoulders to shove the pillow underneath his back more so I could get to the behind his ears a little bit.
Okay.
They had left some tools beside his body. When I yanked up the body, they fell off at the floor.
Did you jump?
I had to check myself to see if I peed. Yeah, because I was in there all by myself, and I was just like, and all of a sudden there's this big, metal instruments hitting it's like a tile floor.
And you were in there by yourself. Yeah, I'd be scared to death too.
Yeah. When I looked over and seen them, I was like, whew. I looked down. Oh man, you talk about scaring you.
Oh yeah.
Well, you don't expect,
No.
It's annoyingly quiet.
Yes.
I mean, it's usually in a basement, usually kind of in the creepiest of creepiest layouts. But one day they said, "Can you come over real fast and just touch this guy up on his beard and his eyebrows? They don't like him, and then we're going to cremate him." I was like, "What?" Yep. Family just wanted to see him one more time, and they were going to cremate him.
Okay.
But he'd been in the nursing home, and no one had shaved him, so I had to make him look like he did before he died.
Okay. All right.
And then they burned him.
And then they burned him.
Yep.
All that work.
And they asked me if I wanted to stay. I said, "No, thank you. I want to go now."
Reminds me of a Jerry Clower story right there, where they used to sit up with the dead.
I got another one for you on YouTube.
You need to stop watching.
No, Isaiah is infatuated with these prank shows. He's always wanting to watch these. There's 3 or 4 of them she likes to watch.
Anybody get tased?
No.
That's been one of these episodes we've been talking about doing.
Don't get that out our secret. Okay. So we're watching this. I forgot what I was even gonna say.
Prank shows, YouTube prank shows.
I'm still squirreled.
Oh mercy!
It's gone.
This
It's gone.
This is pretty easy. Well, let me tell you about. So I was doing tree service.
You were trimming trees.
I used to climb trees.
Did you ever trim a telephone pole? You know how you do that? You decapitate it.
Decapitate it. I did decapitate a telephone pole one time with a skid steer. I backed into it. I took lines down a mile away. Yeah,
Are you
true
serious?
story. True story.
Is this a New York thing or Missouri thing?
I cannot divulge that information because there was people upset and they were wondering who it was to be upset at.
It was in Missouri. Yeah.
So
Granny was on oxygen. You're the one that took out the. Yeah.
All right, we're not going to talk about that.
That would have been it.
So I'm doing tree service.
And I had to get the generator out, buddy.
My girlfriend at the time.
Have you had a lot of them? After they ride your death traps, how long do they last? Like one ride?
I had 3 of them.
You know what you should have done?
That truck. They said
you should have just said
it's us or the truck.
I'll put gas in your car. Can we take yours?
I had one.
You might have kept a girlfriend a day longer.
I had one
a day
tell me I'd like to take my car instead of yours on the date. That's honest to goodness truth. Anyway, so
smart
I'm doing
girl.
tree service, and I'm cutting cedar trees
shade
down.
trees?
No, cedar trees.
Okay.
And you know how they smell really pretty.
Yeah, but they're not good for you.
Well, I took
You're
a
not
whole
supposed to breathe
handful of the shavings.
You're not supposed
put
to
them
breathe
underneath the seat of her car to freshen up her car.
Was Rance in them?
Nope. She was just very allergic to cedar. So she broke out in hives, wondering why she was allergic, and went to the doctor.
Are you serious? Oh my God.
And it was probably a week or 2 later before she finally, we were talking about it, and I was like, and she was like, I can't understand why I'm still breaking out, and it's just still awful every time I drive my car. And I was like, I put all that cedar in you. You put cedar under my seat. I'm allergic to cedar. Yeah, that didn't go over so well.
Was that it?
Yeah,
that was the end of it?
Pretty much.
You tried killing the girl.
Well, I didn't know. Who's allergic to cedar? Cedar smells pretty. They line out houses with it.
Hey, my garage smells amazing right now.
Yeah?
Full oak.
Oh, that's pretty oak, isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah, I got a splinter. See, I got a cut right there in my hand from one of those oaks.
Hey, I got a straight razor. I'll cut it out.
I'm good.
We'll do it on film, y'all.
I'm good.
We might get 10 views.
Oh, mercy.
Is it still in there?
No, it's all good.
Oh,
it all healed up fine. I got a sliver the other day.
I got a straight razor and I got a strap. I can sharpen that bad boy up.
Do you see what I've got on my side? I got a trap, and I can set that, and that's complete.
You know what we ought to
I
do with
push
that?
the button.
Nope.
And
We got to take one of them in the woods and set it and put a geode on
hey, that's pretty cool. I want to do mousetrap roulette one of these times.
No.
Yes. Where you spin
it.
the
Did you see that
mousetrap
on
wheel.
YouTube?
No, I saw it on a TV show.
Uh-huh.
And you stick your hand through the little hole in the box and go, and you either get a live mousetrap or a dead mousetrap. And it's exciting.
Is there a dead mouse in the dead?
No, that would make it more exciting.
That'd make it more exciting.
That would make it more exciting.
Especially like if it's festered.
Yeah, I ran over one of those with a fridge one time. It was dead, and we had smelled something rotten.
How'd that work?
And then I pulled the fridge out, thinking I'm gonna pull the fridge out and look behind it, and I rolled over that it was swelled up at that point in time. And then after I rolled over it, it wasn't swelled up anymore. But it was kind of like,
I'm gonna guess it was on everything.
it was kind of a little over there, and a lot all over right there. And it was so bad.
Was it pungent?
Oh man, my eyes were watering. I couldn't breathe. It was like being in a field when they're anhydrous in the field. It was awful.
Now you're
was
talking about
awful.
a reference that most people don't understand.
Anhydrous?
Right. Folks, it's bad.
Anhydrous, I'm not a chemical engineer.
You're kidding me.
No, I didn't go to school for that. But what I will tell you about anhydrous is it takes your breath away. Now,
It'll burn you up.
in a different sense than when I see my wife, she takes my breath away. But anhydrous takes your oxygen away so bad you cannot breathe. You can't even get a
You're not supposed to breathe it though.
There's no breathing it. When you're out there with it and they bleed off when they're lifting their machine up out of the ground and it bleeds off, it stops your breath. You cannot breathe.
You're not supposed
You're
to
done.
breathe it then. The lady told me at the appointment
At the appointment.
for the respiratory.
For your respiratory, your lung test.
Yeah.
I told you if you
When you're around that stuff, you're just supposed to hold your breath.
Oh man, you hold your breath. There's no breathing.
I
It
said,
was the claustrophobic
I might pass
chest
out.
tighten. Yeah, no.
Just saying.
No. That stuff's wicked.
So,
All right.
What?
What did you remember what you were wanting to say about the YouTube pranksters? You need to stop watching these prankster shows.
It's my kid. It's either like spy gadget stuff or prank shows.
Spy gadgets or pranksters.
I won't even tell you what she's wanting to do.
I'll tell you what.
She's wanting to build
If it involves a snake.
Shelby prank.
If it involves a snake.
Uh-huh.
Do you want me to tell you that story about my wife trying to get me with a snake?
Nope.
Okay.
We'll leave that alone.
Okay. That'll be a story for another time.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Yeah.
So, the prank
Okay.
on country.
Okay.
I've put my foot down the last 2 times.
Really?
Just, I'll leave it at
Put
that.
your foot down the last 2 times.
The last 2 times.
Last 2 times. Okay. But not the last 3rd time.
3rd time's not happened yet.
Okay. All right. If it involves a snake, it might end up bad for somebody. I'm just saying. Just saying. So. Might be a bad day for somebody.
Just saying.
Okay. Somebody might get tased.
Nope.
Yes.
I did my
Hey,
time.
hey, that would be exciting. Wouldn't you put in a comment section if you'd love to see Hard Rock get tased?
Nope. Might mess my ticker up.
Your ticker was in good shape. That's what the doctor said. He said your lung function was good. Your ticker's in good shape. You're all set.
Yep. I get more life insurance now.
You do get more life insurance. Really?
Yep.
Your wife was happy.
Nope.
I heard she was.
I'm working up to get this.
Her and Heidi were talking about where they could find pigs.
Nope.
Yes. She's wanting to raise some pigs.
Nope.
So.
We've been down that road. Put in all this new fence.
Yeah.
Spent a fortune.
Yes.
Worked like a dog, sweat running off my face.
Okay. Spent a fortune, lost a fortune. Or earned a fortune, lost
The
a fortune.
pig stayed in the fence 50 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
They dug right underneath it.
Okay. 50 minutes.
50 minutes.
Okay.
They destroyed everything.
Really?
They were on the deck. They're eating the deck. They broke the railing. They rutted up the yard. Chewed on a log chain. I never could figure that one out. Yeah, they literally, like dogs, went underneath the steel fence,
Okay.
out into the yard, and ate the begonias, what was left of the tulips. They ate the deck. They broke the railing. They chewed the log chain that holds the swing up. They, I think, I don't know. I wouldn't say possessed is the right word, but very
Did you do an electric
honoring.
fence?
No.
Okay, that's what you do wrong. When we raised our pigs, we had one strand of electric fence.
But it was a brand new
One
fence.
strand.
I
One
thought,
strand. And that's all
surely
we
this
did.
will be good enough.
Obviously, it wasn't.
Nope.
So we did one strand of electric fence, and you know what happens when a pig touches an electric fence?
Zzz.
Well, pigs don't
That's what's
have.
going to happen when we tase Shelby.
Pigs don't have hair, and basically, it's like getting shocked when you and I would be naked, and it hurts. I'm not really speaking from experience there.
I was going to say, how do you
But-
know this?
The pigs learn from that.
Was that kind of like when you paid your buddy $20 to pee on the hot wire?
Yeah.
How'd that work for you?
Well, it was funny. Until my wife caught me. It was her brother, but until she caught me, and it was still funny, but I got in
Folks,
trouble.
wait a minute. Disclaimer.
I still got in
Disclaimer.
trouble.
Do not attempt this at home. You might burn things you want to use. So
There's 3 types of people. Actually, 4 types of people.
he still talks to you.
Yes, there's 4 types
He
of
will
people.
talk to you?
Yes. There's 4 types of people.
4.
There's those who learn by observing,
Yeah.
those who learn by reading, those that just have to pee on the electric fence for themselves to figure it out, and the 4th type is those who pay others to do it just to watch the entertainment.
I don't find that very funny. That would hurt. What? I can't even talk about it. Does he have kids now?
No.
Oh my gosh.
All right,
Leave
well,
that alone.
we better sign off.
I'm tired.
We better sign off. You were tired. I'm tired. I stayed up all night worrying about where the sun went. I watched it set, worrying about where it went. I turned around, it dawned on me. Yeah. Hey, that one's good. That one's good. You're going to be thinking about that all night.
Nope.
Yep.
I'm gonna thinking about the back of my eyeballs.
The back of your eyeballs. Hey, I planted some potatoes.
Uh-huh.
And I told my kids, go get a newspaper.
Did you get at least
Because you
Yukon
got to
Gold?
wrap up the potatoes with newspapers before you plant them. And I use comics because I like comics because that's like the favorite part of the newspaper. You know why you wrap them with comics?
No.
Well, so the eyes have something to read.
I'm Steve Woodruff.
I'm Shelby Whitney.
I'm a hard rock miner.
I'm a cowboy church preacher.
We're at our world headquarters in Kahoka, Missouri. Thanks for looking and rock on.
So next time we're going to do an episode of driving down the road, towing a trailer.
I quit.